Man, I don't know how other people do it. I really don't. I have no idea how other people are able to maintain themselves while working. In particular, I don't understand how they're able to maintain their sleep cycle. I don't know how they're able to maintain a healthy sleep cycle while also having to work. And it's not like I haven't cut out the things that might be hindering my ability to sleep. No caffeine, no alcohol, no nicotine, none of these things. I started cutting these things off like over 2 weeks ago now? 3? But here I am with a concussion because of the lack of sleep I had prior to going to work. I mean, if you think about it for just 2 seconds, it immediately makes sense. I went to work with like 2 hours of sleep. I was about to fall asleep, so I had a lapse in my rule. I broke my own rule and was like, I'm just going to get super caffeinated right now. Had a lot of caffeine. And I walk into a cement center block, hit myself in the head really hard, and get a concussion. I don't think I would have done that if I had sleep the prior night. I really don't. Number one, because I wouldn't have been compelled to consume as much caffeine just to stay awake. And number two, I would have been more aware of my surroundings. You don't get that oblivious to your surroundings unless you're really not there. And usually people who are really not there, there's a cause. There's a cause of being in that state. In my case, it was a lack of sleep. So I'm here now where I totally burned my 2 days off, and the last 2 days I've also been spending recovering because my head has just been hurting constantly. And after the third day, my job is gone. I can easily get it back. Well, I can easily get a job back, so it's not even really anything to worry about. Because I can just get another one. I literally have a job offer right now. So I have an offer. I should be good. But as of now, I I'm I'm struggling with this situation where I get so stressed out over the workload that I have and the like acknowledgement in my own head. I'm gonna go off tomorrow and do the same thing, that I have trouble sleeping at night. And I'm trying to do everything I can to minimize like the extent to which I stress over that. I've been trying to be mindful about how I think about these things. I've been trying to engage in relaxation techniques. And once again, I've been focusing on cutting out the things that might negatively affect my sleep. I've also been focusing on diet and exercise. The exercise part I get quite a lot of at my job, but I've been focusing on it in other ways as well. But I still struggle with sleep. And I need sleep if I'm going to be able to do this. Like, if I can't sleep, then something like this, what happened with my head, is just going to happen again. And the next time that it happens and I'm off, I'll actually lose my job. You know, my manager was pretty sympathetic to me over the phone, so I think I'm good. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to come in tomorrow, and if I'm not able to come in tomorrow, then I'm basically fucked. Like, I just have to get something else at that point. And it's really tough for me because as someone with autism, just being in the work environment is incredibly overstimulating. Having to interact with other people, even through minimal interaction, is incredibly overstimulating. And I end up coming home just like exhausted, completely and utterly like gone, you know? And a lot of people talk about this idea of the work-life balance. I feel like I just don't know what that is. I don't really know what it is. Like, I come home and then I think about work constantly. Like, it's all I think about is work. And I don't know how to think about anything else. It feels like there's this problem that I constantly need to solve. It's making me feel certain things. It's aching at my back, and I always need to solve it. But you never really can solve it. You just kind of have to wait until your next timely allotted recovery time, and then you go back and do the same thing again and again and again. And that's also something I've been trying to avoid. I've been trying to avoid thinking of it in this long-term way. So instead of going like, yeah, it's the same thing every week and then month and then year, I've been trying to think of it like, well, what is today? You know? Like, what can I do to succeed today? What can I do to feel the best I can today and to be productive today? Instead of thinking about it in this grand, like, larger than life type of way, I've been trying to think of it on a much smaller scale to avoid overwhelming myself with those sorts of questions and giving in to, like, nihilism. And so far I've been successful at that, which is a big improvement over, the other jobs that I've had. But this sleep thing is really tough for me. I mean, it's hard. I need sleep, but I just don't know how to get it, I need to figure out this sleep business. Because it's going to ultimately decide, whether or not I'm able to financially support myself and my wife and get everything going to, get my certificates and everything else for the future to get a better job and provide a modest and happy living, So I gotta get a hold of this sleep thing. And I have to update the way that I'm processing this stuff. And I know that autism is playing a role in this. I know that PTSD is playing a role in this. I know psychosis is also playing a role in this. But I have to find a way to basically work around that and understand the context that I'm coming from with this stuff and do what I can to mitigate the symptoms of these things, to not let them control my life. That basically I'm trying to take back control from this stuff. And I think it starts with improving my sleep. If I can improve my sleep and get a healthy amount of sleep every night, I think I'm going to have more energy, I'm going to have more motivation, and I'm probably going to be less stressed as well. So I think that's the thing I really need to focus on right now.